Hey guys, this is Darren here from We Are Messengers. Really glad to be a part of the world's biggest small group. So I have a couple of verses here I'd like to read, and they're pretty heavy, but I'm Irish, so you'll have to bear with me. And it says this: if you love your father or mother more than you love me, you are not worthy of being mine. Or if you love your son or daughter more than me, you are not worthy of being mine. If you refuse to take up your cross and follow me, you are not worthy of being mine. If you cling to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for me, you will find it. So these verses have been stuck in my head for probably the last 2 or 3 months. So, a brief synopsis of our story is that I have 3 wee babies and a beautiful wife. And God asked us to leave Ireland 2 years ago to come to America. It was probably one of the hardest things we've had to do, saying goodbye to our mothers and fathers and the people we love, brothers and sisters, our church family. But God very clearly called us to go. He said, go. And when He rescued us 9 years ago, we said to Him, God, we'll go wherever you send us. And He called our bluff on that, and He sent us here. Now, it's been wonderful. It's been an incredible time in so many ways. But people ask us, what is the hardship? What is the suffering we go through? The suffering for us is the loss. It's losing those we love, essentially. I've been home twice in 2 years. I've seen my mom twice in 2 years, and she's getting older. My dad's getting older. And I know that mightn't sound like such a big struggle, but for me, it aches me every day. So these verses remind me. They remind me that God has called us. He said, it's going to cost you something to follow me. And He says, if you're not willing to pay that cost, then it says it there very clearly 3 times. You are not worthy of being mine. God loves family. Absolutely does. But He also knows that if we're to follow His calling, we're going to have to risk it all. So a very quick story. So I have a little boy called Elijah, and he's 7, okay? And when we lived in Ireland, I'd come home from work, me and Elijah, I'd hold his hand and we'd walk around the trees in the garden, and we'd just look at them. And he'd look up at me, and when he looked up at me, he looked at me like it was a good man. He looked at me like it was a good daddy. And that was a couple of years ago, the last time we walked around that garden. And recently I came back from tour. I'd been gone a long time. And Elijah said to me, he said, Daddy, I wish you'd go for a walk with me. And I realized it was a very long time since I had last gone for a walk with my wee boy. So the cost to me in doing this is that I leave my family so often. And we might leave them for wonderful reasons. We go to many and we see many healed and made well. We see demons cast out. We see people set free. We see people come to know Christ. We see marriages restored. We see all these wonderful things. But yet my wee boy at home just wants to hold my hand. And so I found that these verses have really challenged me, but they've also encouraged me. God reminds me that if I cling to my life, if I hold on to it so tightly, I will essentially lose what He has asked us to do. But if I give my life up for Him, I will find it. I don't believe God expects me to lose the relationship I have with my kids. I believe that's one of the most important things there is. But He also says that there will be times that following Him is going to hurt. It's going to cost. But following Him is worth doing. Like He says in Matthew 11:28-30, He says, come follow me, learn to walk in the unforced rhythms of grace, and you'll find rest for your weary souls. So there's got to be a balance here somewhere. Following Jesus doesn't mean losing your family. If anything, it means loving your family better. But I know this, God needs us to lose part of ourselves so that we can become more intimate with Him. So yeah, thanks for having me. I hope it matters. I hope it means something to you. God bless you guys.
Take it all away.